Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, listen and enjoy my stories every day. The sun was setting, casting long shadows across the quiet street. I had just returned from work, my mind still buzzing with the day's tasks, when I noticed my neighbor, Linda, waiting by her mailbox. We often exchanged pleasantries, so I figured I'd stop to chat. "Hey, Tom. You're home early today," she said, her tone light, but her eyes flickered with something I couldn't quite place. "Yeah, just wanted to get a jump on the evening. How about you? How's John?" Her smile faltered slightly, but she recovered quickly. "Oh, he's fine. You know how he loves to help out around the neighborhood. He mentioned he was coming over to assist you with some repairs." "Repairs?" I raised an eyebrow, momentarily perplexed. "Repairs? I'm not working on anything right now." Linda's expression shifted, a hint of nervousness creeping into her demeanor. "Really? He said he'd been over a lot to help you out lately. I thought you two were becoming good friends." An uneasy feeling settled in my stomach. John and I had exchanged a few words, but that was it. I couldn't shake the sensation that something was off. "Thanks for letting me know, Linda," I replied, trying to mask my growing suspicion. "I'll have to talk to him about that." As I walked back to my house, the unsettling thoughts began to spiral. Why would John come over so often if I wasn't working on anything? I pushed the door open and entered, my heart pounding with a mixture of dread and curiosity. I decided to check the living room first, then the kitchen. Everything seemed normal. But I couldn't shake Linda's words. My gut instinct was kicking in, telling me to look deeper. I dashed upstairs to our bedroom, pausing outside the door. Silence hung in the air. I took a deep breath, convinced I would find nothing. But when I pushed the door open, my world shattered. There, in our bed, was my wife, Sarah, naked and completely lost in a moment of pleasure with none other than John, my neighbor. The shock hit me like a physical blow, the sight searing into my memory. I stood frozen at the threshold, disbelief clouding my thoughts. "Sarah!" I finally managed to scream, my voice echoing through the house, piercing the bubble of their intimacy. She turned, eyes wide with horror, and in that moment, I saw it all, the betrayal, the lies, the secret life she had been leading behind my back. John scrambled off the bed, hastily pulling on his clothes, the shame painted across his face doing nothing to soothe the rage bubbling inside me. "Tom, wait, let me explain." Sarah pleaded, scrambling to cover herself with the sheets. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Explain? Explain what?" "That you've been cheating on me with our neighbor while I'm out working to pay the bills. I didn't mean for it to happen. It just..." "Just what?" "Just happened." I interrupted, my voice rising. "You think that's an excuse? How long has this been going on?" Tears streamed down her face, and she looked from John to me, clearly panicking. "Please, Tom, I love you. This was a mistake." "A mistake?" It felt like a knife twisting in my gut. "A mistake you've been making for who knows how long." I shouted, anger flooding my veins. John, now fully dressed, stepped forward, his hands raised defensively. "Tom, I didn't mean for this to happen. Stay out of this." I barked. The fury coursing through me demanded action, a way to reclaim my dignity. "You think I'm just going to let this go? You both will pay for this betrayal." I stormed out of the room, heart racing and mind racing with a plan. I'd break her life, just as she had shattered mine. The thought of revenge flooded me with a dark exhilaration. I didn't know how yet, but I would ruin her, make her feel the pain she had inflicted on me. I slammed the front door behind me, stepping out into the cool night, my mind reeling with possibilities. The whispers of betrayal echoed in my ears, and with each step, my resolve solidified. They would regret the day they crossed me. This was only the beginning. I stand in my driveway, fists clenched, my heart pounding. The cold air rushes against my skin, but the warmth of anger courses through me like a raging fire. I can still hear Sarah's desperate pleas echoing in my mind, the shock in John's eyes as he scrambled to cover his shame. This was just the beginning, and I know I can't let them get away with this. Taking a deep breath, I pull out my phone. I need a plan, something that will leave a mark, something that will ensure they both feel the weight of their betrayal. I scroll through my contacts and find Mike, my childhood friend. He's always been a good listener, and right now, I need someone to help me plot my revenge. Hey, Tom. What's up? Mike's voice is cheerful, but I can't muster any enthusiasm. Mike, I need to talk. Can you meet me at the diner in 20? Sure thing, man. Everything okay? Just meet me. I hang up, urgency replacing pleasantries. Arriving at the diner, the familiar smell of fried food and coffee fills the air, but I have no appetite. I spot Mike at a booth, scrolling through his phone. He looks up as I approach, his face shifting from casual to concerned. What's going on? He asks, leaning forward. I slide into the booth and lower my voice. I caught Sarah with John. They were, well, you know. Damn, man. I'm so sorry. He shakes his head, eyes wide with disbelief. What are you going to do? I want to make them pay. Mike raises an eyebrow, intrigued. How? I haven't figured it all out yet, but I want to expose them. I want everyone to know what they did, especially our friends. That's going to hurt a lot of people, Tom. Exactly. They need to feel the consequences. Sarah thinks she can just throw me away like garbage, and John, he needs to understand he's not going to get away with this. Mike nods slowly, contemplating. I get it. But you need to be careful. You don't want this to backfire on you. I'm not worried about that, I reply, determination surging. I just want them to understand what betrayal really means. As we discuss my plan, I can't help but feel the adrenaline pulsing through me. The thought of making them suffer invigorates me. I need to act quickly, and I need to be smart about it. After a couple of hours brainstorming, we finally nail down a plan. I'll gather evidence, pictures, texts, anything that can incriminate them. Then I'll use it to blackmail John into confessing to our friends. It'll break their trust and ruin their little affair. Okay, I think I can help with the texts, Mike offers. If you give me your phone, I can craft some messages that'll seem like it's coming from her. Make John think Sarah is still into him. It'll get him riled up. Good idea, I reply, a sinister smile creeping across my face. Let's do it. We spend the next hour plotting the texts. Mike is a whiz with his phone, and within minutes, he's drafted a series of messages that sound just like Sarah. Can't wait to see you tonight, one reads. I miss you so much. This is perfect, I say, feeling a surge of satisfaction. Now I just need to figure out how to get John alone. Later that night, I wait for Sarah to leave the house, a part of me hoping she'll show some remorse. But she doesn't come out. Instead, I decide to take the offensive approach. I walk over to John's house, a mix of anger and anticipation bubbling within me. I knock firmly on the door, my heart racing as I prepare for what's to come. Tom. John's voice comes through the crack as he opens the door, surprise etched on his face. What's up? I step inside, not bothering to hide my fury. We need to talk. About what? He glances around, clearly nervous. About you and Sarah. I watch as his face pales. You think I don't know? I saw you with her, you piece of shit. Tom, listen. I cut him off, stepping closer, feeling the tension crackle in the air. You need to get your story straight because I'm about to make this very public. You're going to tell our friends everything. What? You can't do that. His voice is shaky, desperation creeping in. I can and I will. But here's the deal, I want you to confess to everyone that you two are sleeping together. Or else, I let the threat hang in the air, knowing he understands exactly what I mean. Or else what, he challenges, trying to regain his composure. Or else I'll show them all the evidence I have. I pull out my phone, tapping through the messages Mike crafted. I'll let them see just how low you've sunk. John's face goes pale, the reality of his situation crashing down. You wouldn't. I would. And I will if you don't play along. With that, I leave him standing there, his expression a mix of fear and anger. I walk home, adrenaline coursing through my veins. This is only the beginning, they will both learn that betrayal has consequences, and I'm just getting started. The next day stretches out like a tense string, each hour dragging as I wait for John to make his move. My phone buzzes repeatedly with texts from Mike, who's just as eager to see how my plan unfolds. Mike, have you heard from John? Me, not yet. I think he's figuring out how to handle it. Mike, good. Just remember, the longer he waits, the worse it'll be for him. I can't shake the feeling of anticipation. It's almost too quiet, and I know that John is probably weighing his options. He's a coward at heart, I know he'll eventually come to me, desperate to save face. As evening approaches, I decide to go for a run to clear my mind. The rhythmic pounding of my feet on the pavement helps channel my anger and frustration. But as I make my way through the neighborhood, my focus shifts to the houses around me, our friends, the people who will soon know the truth. After I finish my run, I grab a quick shower, feeling the water wash away the tension. I slip into some comfortable clothes, deciding to settle in for a long night of waiting. Just as I pour myself a drink, there's a knock at the door. My heart races as I open it to find John standing there, looking disheveled and anxious. Tom, he starts, voice shaky. Can we talk? Come in, I reply, gesturing for him to enter. He steps inside, glancing around as if to make sure no one else is watching. Look, I've been thinking about what you said. I don't want this to escalate. Too late for that, I respond coldly, crossing my arms. You're in this deep already. You think I'm just going to let you walk away? Just hear me out, he pleads, running a hand through his hair. I never meant to hurt you. Sarah. Sarah. I cut him off, seething with anger. Don't you dare say her name. You're both the ones who betrayed me. You think an apology is enough? He shifts nervously, avoiding my gaze. I want to make it right, Tom. Let's just make it right? I scoff. By lying to our friends? By pretending none of this happened? That's not how this works. John takes a deep breath, finally meeting my eyes. What do you want from me? I lean closer, lowering my voice. You're going to tell everyone the truth. You're going to confess that you've been sleeping with my wife. If you don't, I'll release everything I have. His face goes pale, and I can see the wheels turning in his head. You wouldn't do that. Try me, I hiss. You think you can keep this hidden? The longer you wait, the worse it'll be for you. Just think about Sarah, what do you think this will do to her? Fine, he finally mutters, his shoulders sagging in defeat. I'll tell them. Good. I want you to do it tonight, at the barbecue at Mike's place. That's where all our friends will be. You'll stand up and tell them the truth. What if I can't? His voice is barely above a whisper, fear etched on his face. Then I'll make sure everyone finds out in a way they won't forget, I reply, feeling a surge of satisfaction at his fear. As John nods, I can't help but feel a sense of power wash over me. The thrill of revenge courses through my veins, urging me forward. Now get out of here, I say, gesturing toward the door. And make sure you think long and hard about what you're about to do. Once he leaves, I grab my phone and text Mike, my heart racing with anticipation. John's going to confess tonight at the barbecue. Get ready for the show. Mike, you serious? This is going to be epic. As night falls, I head to Mike's house, the air thick with anticipation. The barbecue is already in full swing, laughter and music filling the air as I arrive. I scan the crowd, spotting friends gathered in groups, sipping drinks and grilling food. Tom. Mike waves me over, his grin wide. You ready for this? I am, I reply, my eyes darting toward John, who stands awkwardly in a corner with Sarah. She looks happy, completely unaware of the storm that's about to break. Let's give it a few more minutes, Mike suggests, nudging me. I want to see this unfold. Time ticks by slowly, and I feel my heart race as I see John's anxious movements. He keeps glancing at Sarah, who's chatting with a couple of our friends. Finally, I decide it's time to set this in motion. Hey, everyone. I call out, raising my voice to draw attention. The chatter dies down as all eyes turn to me. I think John has something he wants to share with us. What? Sarah asks, her brow furrowed with confusion. John looks trapped, his eyes darting between me and Sarah. I just wanted to say. He falters, and I step closer, feeling the intensity in the air. Go on, John. This is your moment. The truth can't stay hidden forever. Finally, he takes a deep breath, looking directly at Sarah. I've been seeing someone else. For a while now, it's with Tom's wife. The silence that follows is deafening. Gasps echo around the crowd, and I can see the color drain from Sarah's face as reality hits her. What? She whispers, her voice barely audible. Tom, I'm so sorry, John mumbles, his voice shaking. I didn't mean for it to come out like this. The chaos erupts as friends start murmuring, shocked faces turning to look at Sarah. I step back, letting the wave of emotions crash over the group. Everyone deserves to know the truth, I say loudly, watching as Sarah's world unravels before her eyes. This is what betrayal looks like. The night transforms into a whirlwind of chaos, anger, and betrayal as the reality sinks in. I stand back, satisfaction surging through me, knowing I've delivered my revenge. The pain I feel begins to ease, replaced by the knowledge that justice has been served. But deep down, I know this is only the beginning. The web of lies has been exposed, and the fallout is just starting. I brace myself for what's to come, ready to face the consequences of my actions. The chaos at Mike's barbecue takes on a life of its own. Friends are shouting, some in disbelief, others with anger directed at John and Sarah. My heart races, a mix of satisfaction and impending dread. I stand at the edge of the fray, watching the emotional eruption unfold, feeling the tension in the air like a thick fog. Tom, I can explain. Sarah cries, her voice cutting through the tumult. I clench my fists, every nerve in my body aflame with rage. Explain what, Sarah? That you've been sleeping with my neighbor. How do you justify that? Tom, please, she begs, tears streaming down her cheeks. I was going to tell you. I didn't want it to happen. It just did. Didn't want it to happen. I mimic her, disgust dripping from my words. You think that excuses the fact that you betrayed me? You think it was just a moment of weakness? John, standing awkwardly to the side, looks ashen. I didn't mean to hurt you, man. This wasn't my intention. Your intention? I scoff, turning to face him. You knew exactly what you were doing. You're just as guilty as she is. You both conspired against me. The friends around us murmur, casting wary glances at John and Sarah. I can see it in their eyes, the judgment, the betrayal of trust. I step closer to Sarah, my voice dropping to a low, dangerous tone. Do you realize what you've done? I ask, my eyes narrowing. You've ruined everything we built together. You think tears will fix this? I'm sorry, Tom. I truly am, she pleads, but her words fall flat. The betrayal runs deep, and as I scan the faces of our friends, I can see the disbelief, the sympathy. But the sympathy only fuels my anger. I refuse to let them feel sorry for me. Instead, I take a step back, a smile creeping onto my face. I think it's time for you to face the consequences, I declare, my voice steady. What are you talking about? John asks, confusion mingling with fear. Let's give everyone a show, shall we? I say, pulling out my phone. The previously crafted messages and images I've collected swirl through my mind, and I pull up the group chat with our friends. Everyone deserves to see the truth, I announce, tapping the screen. Let's show them the real Sarah and John. Gasps echo through the group as I hit send, images of their conversations flashing across the screen for everyone to see. My friends begin reading, the air thick with shock and disbelief. What the hell, Tom? Mike shouts, disbelief etched on his face. This isn't right, someone else calls, but I'm beyond caring. I've had enough of their pity, their looks of sympathy. Is this what you wanted, Sarah? I yell, feeling the adrenaline course through me. Is this how you envisioned your life? With a coward who hides behind your back? Tom, please, she cries again, her voice rising in desperation, but I cut her off. No more chances, Sarah. You wanted this? You'll get it. With every passing second, I watch as the truth sinks in deeper. Friends turn away from her, whispers swirling like a storm. The judgment is palpable, and I drink in the chaos, feeling my heart race. Tom, I never meant for any of this to happen, John stammers, desperation creeping into his voice. Enough. I bark, my patience running thin. You think I care about your excuses? You've destroyed my trust and my marriage. You both deserve this. The crowd has shifted, eyes flicking between Sarah and John, disbelief painted across their faces. But I'm not finished yet. I step closer, looking Sarah dead in the eyes. You'll never understand the pain you've caused me, I say, my voice low and threatening. And you'll have to live with that guilt. In that moment, the reality of the situation dawns on her. She can't charm her way out of this. Tom, she starts, but I'm done listening. With a sudden movement, I swing my arm, knocking her drink out of her hand. The glass shatters on the ground, drawing everyone's attention. Look at what you've done. I shout, my voice rising. You've shattered everything we built together. Now, you'll feel the consequences. I turn to the group, my expression hardening. You all thought you knew her. You thought she was someone to be trusted. But this is who she really is, a cheater, a liar. Sarah stumbles backward, the horror on her face evident as she realizes her world is crumbling around her. The friends who once looked at her with admiration now regard her with disdain. As the evening stretches on, the crowd begins to disperse, their murmurs echoing in my ears. John stands off to the side, his face twisted in regret, but I can't muster any sympathy. I've watched them both betray me, and now it's time for them to face the consequences. Tom, please, Sarah whispers, her voice cracking. I'll do anything to make this right. I laugh coldly, the bitterness spilling over. Right? You think there's a way to fix this? You think apologies will mend the damage? I want nothing to do with you. You're dead to me. The words cut like a knife, and I see the realization hit her, her face pale with understanding. Just leave, Sarah. You and John both. I don't want to see either of you ever again, I say, my voice low but firm. They exchange a glance, a silent acknowledgement of their betrayal, and with that, they turn and walk away, two broken figures, cloaked in shame. As they disappear into the night, a strange sense of closure washes over me. I've taken my revenge, exposed their lies, and severed the ties that bound us. The bitterness lingers, but beneath it lies a profound sense of relief. I turn to my friends, ready to embrace the chaos of the night that has unfolded. I know that I'll never forget the pain they caused, but I'm ready to move on, stronger and wiser. Betrayal can break a heart, but it can also forge a new path. And as I step forward into the night, I know I'll never look back.